Gaza roared once again. In the early hours of the morning, jets thundered overhead, dropping payloads that lit up the night sky with fire and smoke. Streets already scarred from months of fighting were torn open once more. Families who had sought shelter in tents and makeshift camps found themselves trapped under rubble, their cries muffled by the dust of collapsing concrete. The world is watching, but the question remains, are they truly seeing? According to Palestinian health officials, at least 59 lives were lost in a single day of airstrikes. Women, children, the elderly, numbers on paper, but in reality, each one a name, a story, a family shattered. Gaza's health ministry spoke of hospitals overwhelmed, staff unable to cope, and drones circling so low that even ambulances could not pass. In one tragic scene, premature babies lay in incubators inside a hospital sealed off because access was impossible. Medical staff were trapped inside, while families outside begged for entry. These are not distant headlines. They are living tragedies unfolding right now. The cycle of violence is not new. It has roots stretching back decades, with moments of fragile ceasefires, shattered hopes, and broken promises. But in recent days, the violence has intensified once again. Israel carried out a wave of strikes across the Gaza Strip, targeting what they describe as Hamas strongholds, command centers, tunnels, and weapons caches. Yet the destruction fell not only on militants, but also on residential neighborhoods, refugee camps, and shelters. In the Nusayrat refugee camp, an entire family of 9 perished in one strike. In another, 15 were killed instantly as tents used for shelter went up in flames. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stood at the United Nations General Assembly and declared, Israel must finish the job. His words echoed with determination, but for the people on the ground, those words meant another night of fear, another morning of grief. At the same time, leaders from various nations staged walkouts, leaving empty seats in protest as Netanyahu spoke. Some demanded restraint, others demanded accountability. Yet for the civilians of Gaza, words from global stages bring little comfort when missiles fall just outside their doors. Amid this escalation, an unexpected twist appeared, a 20-point peace plan. Supported by both Donald Trump and Netanyahu, it outlined a path towards ceasefire, international transitional governance, hostage release, and the demilitarization of Gaza. On paper, it sounded like a breakthrough, but there was one condition Hamas had to accept. And as negotiators from Qatar, the UN, and other world powers pressed forward, uncertainty loomed. Would Hamas agree? Would Israel relent? Or would the fighting rage on, leaving the plan buried under rubble like so many promises before? The strikes were not limited to one corner. Israel reported hitting more than 120 targets in just 24 hours. They included surveillance sites, weapons depots, and underground tunnels. But for every tunnel destroyed, another family was displaced. For every target eliminated, the price was measured in the cries of children and the silence of those who would never speak again. The humanitarian toll has grown unbearable. Fuel supplies are nearly gone. Medicines are running out. Clean water is scarce. International aid convoys have been delayed or blocked, and hospitals face impossible choices: who to treat and who to let go. For believers around the world, these events are not only political, they echo with prophetic weight. The scriptures speak of nations turning against nations, of wars and rumors of wars, of a time when Jerusalem and the surrounding regions would become the very center of global tension. Isaiah spoke of destruction that would sweep through cities. Joel and Amos warned of nations gathered against God's people. Zechariah declared that Jerusalem would become a heavy stone for all peoples, and those who tried to lift it would be cut to pieces. When we see Gaza burning, when we see the world's attention fixed on Jerusalem, we cannot help but ask, are these signs unfolding before our very eyes? This is not just a geopolitical conflict. It is a spiritual collision. Forces of ideology, power, and faith are colliding in ways that go beyond politics. Every bomb dropped, every speech made at the UN, every protest on the streets of Western capitals, each is part of a larger narrative. For some, it is a fight for survival. For others, it is a battle for justice. For still others, it is the confirmation of prophecies spoken thousands of years ago. And so the question rises, what are we, the watchers, supposed to do in this moment? Do we sit silently, scrolling past headlines, or do we recognize the urgency of the times and take our place as voices for truth? Silence is complicity, and today the world cannot afford to look away. The images of Gaza are difficult to watch. Children pulled from rubble, families mourning under open skies, hospitals collapsing under the weight of need. Yet amid the darkness, there are still sparks of hope. Aid groups continue to push through barriers. Ordinary people, from doctors to volunteers, risk their lives daily to bring food, water, and medicine to those who need it most. Their courage reminds us that humanity can shine even in the darkest night. But courage alone is not enough. We need awareness. We need prayer. We need action. To those watching, this is not just another news cycle. This is a call to awaken. The prophetic warnings are not fairy tales or distant promises. They are alarms ringing out in real time. When nations gather against Israel, when Gaza becomes a flashpoint. When Jerusalem stands at the center of controversy, we are living in the very words written long ago. So what does this mean for you, the viewer? It means we must stay alert. We must not let distraction dull our senses. It means lifting our voices in prayer for peace, for justice, for mercy. It means sharing the truth, letting others know what is happening, refusing to let this story fade into the background. It means standing firm, even when the world grows weary of conflict and chooses to look away. As this war rages, the future remains uncertain. Will the peace plan succeed, or will it collapse under the weight of mistrust? Will international leaders find common ground, or will divisions deepen? One thing is clear: the people of Gaza and Israel are paying the price every day. Innocent blood cries out from the ground, and the world must decide how it will respond. To those who follow prophecy, to those who study the scriptures, these events are not random. They are threads woven into a tapestry long foretold. The question is not if these prophecies will unfold. The question is how soon, and whether we will be ready when they do. So I leave you with this: do not turn away. Do not let this become just another passing headline. The war in Gaza is a sign of deeper battles, both earthly and spiritual. It is a test of nations, a challenge to faith, a moment that demands our attention. Share this video, speak up, pray without ceasing, and above all, stay awake. For the world is changing before our eyes, and prophecy is no longer a distant echo. It is happening now.